your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Introducing Bark in the Belly Premium Dog Food. 100% of profits go to help dogs in need.
Over 30% of adults struggle with chronic foot and joint pain, and many face mobility limitations as they age. But a revolutionary Comfort First slipper has taken the wellness world by storm. Try Cloud Slides and feel you are walking on the clouds. Cloud Slides.
Welcome in to the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stuart here on 365 Sports, the Friday before Super Bowl 60. And yes, I'm in a hotel room. We have been kicked out of Radio Row in San Francisco, but the show must go on. The last one before the Patriots take the field against the Seahawks in Santa Clara for Super Bowl 60. We have got a great interview with Christian Fauria, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Patriots and a former Seahawk. We got that coming up. He's going to talk about both teams, and he's got a bit of a shocking prediction for Patriots fans. We've got to talk about the Tom Brady fallout. I think that's fascinating. But where we're going to start today is with the NFL awards. So all that and more coming up on this episode of the Wicked Boston Show. And I know it looks a little janky today. Okay, I'm in the hotel room. You can see the bed behind me. You can see my melatonin on the desk there. That's going to kick in at some point. I'm watching a double feature of Semi-Pro on cable in a hotel room. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And we do have to start with the NFL awards. Probably unsurprisingly, Drake Maye did not win the MVP. He lost to Matthew Stafford in what was the closest MVP race of all time. He lost by one first-place vote. He got 23 out of 50. And Matthew Stafford got 24. And that in and of itself caused some controversy around New England because I think a lot of Patriots fans felt Drake Maye was deserving. I think he was deserving of it. I think he should have won the award. But Matthew Stafford had himself a damn good season, right? Worthy of the MVP. I think there was two guys worthy of the MVP. And I think the way that it was going with Stafford being named the first team All-Pro, I don't think it should be too surprising that he ends up taking home the MVP award. That said, the real controversy for the NFL MVP award came with the fact that Drake Maye misses the award by one first-place vote. And a first-place vote was given to Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert of the LA Chargers. Someone who was not even a finalist for the award. And by the way, finalist is just top 5 vote getters. But he was not among the top 5 vote getters. And yet, he got a first-place vote that kept Drake Maye from winning the MVP at age 23. Here's the thing. Fundamentally, I would be a hypocrite as a libertarian to say that you shouldn't be voting for Justin Herbert if you really think he should be the MVP, right? I do it every election. I vote for a third party that's not going to win. So fundamentally, I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I said that that was the problem. The problem is that Justin Herbert is not an MVP. He had a nice season. His team was littered with injuries, and that's why Sam Munson from Ireland says he voted for Justin Herbert. His offensive line was completely depleted. His weapons were not that great. Lab McConkey did not have as good a year this year as he did in year number 1. Quentin Johnston still has some issues there. Amarian Hampton came on, but he had some injuries later on in the season. And Justin Herbert did make a lot of stuff happen with one of the worst, if not the worst, offensive line in football. They won 11 games. They went to the postseason. That's awesome. That's awesome. And he deserves some consideration. He deserves to get some votes. But to potentially block the deserving MVP from winning the MVP because you think you're big brain and you want to outsmart everybody by voting for Justin Herbert, to me, is just silly. It's dumb. It's too out there. Like, that's when you're too out there and too smart for your own good. We all know people that do stuff like that want to throw a reason back at you that is a fine reason but isn't quite good enough. Justin Herbert had a good year. His numbers were not near Drake Maye's or Matthew Stafford's. His team's success was not that of Matthew Stafford's or Drake Maye's. In fact, one of the teams beat him head-to-head in the playoffs. Right? He didn't win his division as the quarterback. They didn't win a playoff game, which I get it. It's a regular season award. But just because his team had a bunch of injuries and he had a good season does not make him the MVP. It gives him value, but it does not make him the MVP because you can't argue that Justin Herbert was more valuable in this league than Drake Maye was. Oh, you're the worst offensive line in football. How much have we been shitting on the Patriots offensive line, specifically in this postseason? How much every week do we hear about how Will Campbell can't block anybody? But suddenly, they're the Hogs. And the Chargers are the Perkins School for the Blind. Justin Herbert didn't have any weapons. Were his weapons any worse than Drake Maye's? Like, let's be honest here. And did Drake Maye make more things happen? Yes, he did. Won 14 games, won the division. Oh, but it was the easiest schedule of all time. It's up there. It's up there. It's an NFL schedule. And Mina Kimes, who I wish I could play. I wish I could play her reasoning here, but I'll get the video taken down. She had it perfect when arguing with Dan Orlovsky on ESPN because Orlovsky keeps bringing up the schedule, the schedule, the schedule. This is the same Dan Orlovsky who a few years ago was arguing the opposite point, who was saying, man, this isn't the SEC. This isn't college football. We can't argue about the schedule. This is professionals. This is the National Football League. Now you can argue the schedule, though, apparently, because it's Drake Maye and it's the Patriots. And Dan Orlovsky wants to sit there and say, hey, man, I was benched for an MVP. That's what he wants to say. Not just because you ran out of the back of the end zone. Matthew Stafford is now an MVP, so you can put that on your mantle. But Mina Kimes said it perfectly. She was like, you'll look at the schedule. What I will look at is the defenses he faced. And according to DVOA, which is probably the best metric you can get for a defense and how good they are, he faced the 20th best schedule of DVOA, which is not great. It's not the worst, but it's not great. It's not as bad as people say it is. Matthew Stafford's DVOA of the defenses he played was 17th. So is it better than Drake Maye's? Yes. Drastically? Not even close. Like, they're that close in terms of the competition they faced on defense. And Drake Maye didn't throw the ball at the 1 yard line. He didn't have 15 1-yard touchdown passes. So that's what really bugs me here. Like, if you think Justin Herbert is really the MVP, you should be able to vote for him. But also, on that same token, let's be realistic with ourselves. Let's be real here. And what really tickled me was Sam Munson, the guy who voted for Justin Herbert, on Twitter is going off about value and the value that they have to the team. Really? If we're arguing value to the team, you're actually trying to tell me that there's a quarterback more valuable in this league to their team than Drake Maye is to the Patriots? Are you serious? Middle of the pack offensive line, bottom third of the league in terms of their weapons. You know, they were 21st in rush yards per game, I think, this season. They were not this stellar offense that Drake Maye just had all these options to go to. Not like Matthew Stafford. There's no Puka Nacua on this team. There's no Devontae Adams. And there's certainly no Sean McVay. Well, Josh McDaniels is pretty good. But when you look at this, it's like Stephon Diggs had a good year. Over 1,000 yards. Good year. Ramondre Stevenson was good the last couple of weeks of the season. He was excellent. Kayshon Boutte, nice story. Impact player. Much different than what he was last year. But you've seen Will Campbell the last couple of weeks. We saw Morgan Moses the first couple of weeks. Those were the additions on the offensive line. Stephon Diggs was the only real addition to your receiver room. Kyle Williams got a couple of catches, had a couple of touchdowns, made some big plays, but he wasn't really a starter. You know, you have two old-ass tight ends in Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. They're not the fleetest of foot out there. They never really ran the ball very well this season. They didn't protect for Drake Maye very well this season, and yet that team won 14 games. 14. And they're in the Super Bowl. But you can't take that part because it's a regular season award. And you're going to really sit there with a straight face and tell me that Justin Herbert is more valuable. Because if this was an award about value, it wouldn't have been close. Drake Maye is more valuable to his team than I think anyone in the NFL. Take Matthew Stafford off the Rams. How many games are they winning? Just replace him with a replacement level, middle of the road quarterback. Maybe above middle of the road even. Give him Geno Smith, who was below average this year. With Sean McVay and those weapons, they're probably winning double-digit games. I'm sorry, they probably are. Take Justin Herbert off that team with everything else that they had before the season. That's still a solid team. It's not an 11-win team. I'll give you that. But let's take Drake Maye off the Patriots. Is that team winning 5 games? I truly doubt it because it's almost the same team from last year, and they won 4 games with Drake Maye. So don't feel like you're putting your balls on the table by saying, oh, Justin Herbert because his 2 tackles got hurt. The only person you're outsmarting is yourself. And congrats, you've made a huge impact on the NFL this year, Sam Munson. You did it. Because now, maybe the guy who deserved to win the MVP is not going to win the MVP. And that is just bang unfortunate, man. It really is. Now, Drake Maye's going for the bigger prize on Sunday. It's going to take something special, right? But he is going for the bigger prize on Sunday, and that's winning the MVP award. You know, it makes me think of 2016, where Matt Ryan won the MVP, and it really should have been Brady. Ryan had a great year. The Falcons had a great offense and a heck of a team. And it's not like he was the scrub, but Brady was more valuable. He was. In just 12 games, his numbers were pretty stacked up pretty well with Matt Ryan. And he was just dominating the league when he got in there. He lost 1 game out of 12 in the regular season. So it's just another NFL personality, writer, reporter that is trying to outsmart everybody and say, look how thoughtful I am. Look at what I look at. Man, you all missed this. So I'm not saying that Matthew Stafford didn't deserve it. I think you had 2 deserving quarterbacks. What sucks is that a third undeserving quarterback got a vote that blocked someone from potentially winning the MVP who actually deserved it. And if I had a vote, it would have gone to May. I watched every snap of football he played this season, granted. But I'm just saying, if we're talking about outstanding play and numbers like Drake Maye had, which are on par with Matthew Stafford's, and then we talk about the V in MVP, Drake Maye should get that. He is more valuable to his team than Matthew Stafford, a team that was better than Matthew Stafford's in the regular season. But hey, maybe that's just the Patriots fan in me. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you every weekday live on YouTube, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then wherever you get those podcasts as well. Before I move on to the interview with Christian Fauria, I have a controversial opinion here. You know, non-controversial opinion, think Drake Maye should have won the MVP. My controversial opinion, which kind of lit a fire under Twitter yesterday among some trolls and NFL fans alike, I think Brittany Mahomes is hot. Like, I think that is a good swimsuit cover. Am I crazy? Like, I get sometimes she looks kind of weird with the, you know, that meme with the hair and she's like doing the weird faces. She does like look weird and look annoying. I get that. But she is kind of hot. I don't care if they're fake or not. She looks hot. And I'm not going to sit here and say that she's not. I think it's crazy. Anyway, the rest of the stuff is about the Patriots today. We're going to talk with Christian Fauria, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and he has a very interesting prediction when it comes to this game on Sunday. And he is also in this kind of next level post-career, obviously was really good on the radio. And I think it stinks that he's not on Boston radio anymore. He was on EEI for years, and I think he got kind of a raw deal. They kept putting him on worse and worse shows after OMF, and I think he still got it. I think he still gives good analysis and can laugh at himself, and is just he's also just meeting him this week. He's a fun guy to be around. But he's now in this next phase of his career as a professor, and let me just tell you, you'll hear a little bit about it in the interview, but I do want to put it out there, man. His team with Bryant University, this is, I'm not getting paid to say this. I get nothing by saying this. They kicked ass this week at Radio Row. And they were running circles around the Syracuses, the Northwesterns, the Arizona States of the world. Arizona State was right behind us, man. Cronkite, like one of the great J schools in the country. I don't think they had a single guest all week. And the Syracuse people, they just wear their orange with the blue S, and they can go up to anybody at Radio Row, and half of them went to friggin' Syracuse, and they'll come on the show. But Fauria's kids worked their asses off. They had a team out there that went across the country, and Fauria is doing an unbelievable job with them. And again, not getting a check to say that. So anyway, coming up after the break, you're not going to want to miss this. Patriot, I'll say legend, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Christian Fauria joins the Wicked Boston show. That is next on 365 Sports.
Circulon C1 Series Clad with Scratch Defense Non-Stick. Maximize cooking, minimize cleaning. Discover the unmatched durability and elegance scratch-free, worry-free, forever.
At Covers and All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Welcome to Market XLS, your all-in-one Excel solution for investors. Designed as an enterprise-grade platform, Market XLS caters to investment managers, secure and efficient investment management and research. Book your free demo.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops made clean, made to clean.
On the Wicked Boston show with the professor, 2-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, and he played for the Seahawks too.
I did.
Christian Fauria.
Yeah, how you doing?
This is like the Fauria Bowl this week for the second time.
People keep telling me that I am like the only one who played for both teams, and I'm trying to find somebody else.
Oh, we can give you a couple.
Who is it?
Deion Branch played for both teams.
That's right. He left New England, went to Seattle, then came back.
Yeah.
So his story is even better.
Michael Bennett, who was great against the Patriots when they faced off in 49.
True.
He ended up playing for the Patriots.
Look at you.
And then you got
encyclopedia.
Well, yeah, you were just tapping right into this.
Super nerd. They call you super nerd?
They're not that nice.
They call you Wicked Super Nerd.
They're not that nice. Yeah, my psychologist fiance just calls me autistic, but yeah, that works too. I mean, At least my party trick is all sports trivia, so that's where it comes from.
Kinda a spectrum
that's what she says. That's what she says, and she's got the doctorate to prove it that she can do that.
She
so
drops that card on you
sometimes.
So whenever you're in like some sort of argument, she says, "Hold on," and she back pockets you and drops that doctor card on you.
Back pockets me. Yeah. All 3 of her degrees are in our bedroom. Which is crazy. It's crazy. Amazing. She doesn't have an office, so it goes in our bedroom. Awesome. But anyway, I guess we could talk about some football, too. Yeah. I want to run 2 quick things by you before we really dive into this. A couple weeks ago, you said on our network that the Patriots cannot win the Super Bowl. You said they can maybe make it there, but they can't win it.
I said there was an 80% chance they could go to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I was very careful about how I said that to you, Cam.
Who's the doctor here?
Yeah, I know, right? Say it right. Yeah, but I just felt like the NFC overall, out of all the AFC playoff teams, was better. Like any option, the Rams, the Eagles, Packers, obviously the Seahawks, the 49ers. Mm-hmm. I thought that the NFC, regardless of who was representing the NFC, I thought that they could beat any AFC team.
So you're sticking with it?
I thought that the Patriots could actually get there. I just didn't believe that. I still don't believe that they can actually win it. Mm. So, and listen, prove me wrong. Like, I'm okay if I'm wrong. That's the thing. Because here's what I tell people. One, I'm not paid for this appearance. Two, if I was paid, I would only be paid to give my opinion. I would not be paid to be right.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's
I
true.
feel like there's a lot of safety there.
That's a good thing to teach your students.
And it's good to say it out loud. So somebody like you says, "You said they would lose." You know?
I can't wait. I've got it clipped, ready to go. I've had it clipped for 3 weeks.
Please
Christian.
don't mention me, because here's what I'm doing, Cam. Every station I do, Southwest, Northwest, you name it, I'm picking the Seahawks to win. Anywhere in the New England region, I'm picking the Patriots, just in case.
Well, you've been I don't want to say the bearer of bad news, but you've been kind of realistic with the guys. You know, Steve Burton is picking them to win every game, and you're keeping it real.
Steve Burton never picks them to lose. Scott Zolak never picks them to lose. Those guys never pick anybody to lose.
And we love them, by the way.
Yeah.
And then we got Fauria.
And I get it. Their checks say Kraft on it, and the other one says like CBS. So they're all in partnership together.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to ask you, because this goes back to your EEI days, you used to say this all the time. You used to say football with their All-Star game always gets it right because they wait till after the season, right? All-Pro and Pro Bowl is what I want to focus on. When you see what the Pro Bowl is now, do you stand by the Pro Bowl thing?
First of all, I think All-Stars in general in the pros are stupid.
Like, they should just stick with all pros.
The worst one was always the NFL from beginning to end. Because let's say when I was playing, we would end. Sometimes we'd end in December, January 1st or 2nd. And if you didn't make the playoffs, like a lot of the teams, you weren't playing football for 5 weeks. So when I'm done with football, I was like chilling, not working out, resting my body, and I would see these guys, and they were still working out. I'm like, oh, you're in the Pro Bowl. I don't even want to make it.
Yeah.
I just feel like, no matter what, it's never going to be right. The players don't want to play in it. They don't want to get hit. More importantly, they don't want to get hurt. So people are bitching and complaining about it. I'm like, it is what it is. Like, don't overthink it. It's stupid. They tried to fix Major League Baseball. I mean, that's probably about as close to a real game close to a real game. The NBA
because it's baseball,
game is a joke too.
Yeah. Yeah, so was the NHL. Yeah.
To 260.
Yeah. They all stink.
Defense.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'm not going to get all uptight about it. You're going to ask us on our week off to go play.
Come out. Yeah.
And you're not paying us. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. But I think baseball is the closest to a real game, right? Because those guys are lazy. They don't ever get hit. They're a bunch of big babies anyways.
Yeah.
So, so maybe you're throwing 90 instead of 102.
Yeah, it's an easier one to kind of coast with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
you're not running into anybody.
Yeah.
Hockey is crazy too.
Yeah.
But those guys are.
They've got screw loose.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be looking at this game on Sunday. I know you've been going around. You've been making the round. You've been making your predictions. You've got the Seahawks winning it. Hey, I get it. There's a reason why they're the favorite. What have you seen from Drake Maye this postseason, though? This is a guy who was an MVP candidate throughout the whole season, probably going to finish runner-up. And we've heard about injuries, but really they have not been as effective. Is that a guy who's just playing 20 games for the first time in his life, or is there something more there?
I think it's listen, he played against 3 of the top 5 defenses in the league.
True.
I think that had something to do with it.
And another one here this week.
And another one. So I don't think you could discount the uptick in expertise in competition, and that's why I think they were able to win these games, because the other offense did not have Drake Maye, and they did not have the ability to hold tight, reset, and start all over again. The most important thing for him is, I think, are almost out of his control. That's why he scrambles so much. They don't have a lot of design runs.
Yeah,
they just don't do it. He scrambles because he has to. And it's been working, a lot of them. Most of these games in the postseason, he's the leading rusher.
Yes.
So I think, and that's probably the first thing I'm going to do is like, okay, if I'm Seattle, let's abandon the ability for a sack, and take a last chance, so we make sure that he can't get free. Because a lot of times the defenders are like, I'm disciplined, and then it's, I think I can get him. No, he goes inside, quarterback goes outside, loses contained. Happens all the time. Yeah. So I would say technique over anything would be my key, because I think they can cover him, I think they can rush him enough and speed up that clock that he can make some mistakes.
Yeah. Do you think the same way about Sam Darnold? This guy makes mistakes.
Listen, everyone keeps looking at Sam Darnold like this. He's like this error-prone, machine. In the postseason, didn't have any turnovers.
Yeah, after leading in the regular season. But you're right. He played the game of his life the other week.
Maybe he turns back into a pumpkin. Maybe he sees ghost again. I don't know. I feel good betting on him.
Yeah. I want to ask about your former teammate, Mike Vrabel. And everyone we hear from is like, oh, yeah, we knew Vrabel was going to be a coach. And, oh, yeah, he was a smart ass always. But why is he a good coach to play for? Why do players really resonate with someone like Vrabel?
Well, I think, first of all, is he's honest. He holds people accountable. He knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
And he's passionate. I would say those are all traits that I think are important for any player to see from their coach.
How much do you hate seeing the stats about his receptions at this point?
What am I going to do?
Those could have been yours, man.
I was doing something for the NFL Legacy, and they literally pulled the play out. And they're like, hey, can you commentate as it's going on? I was like,
no, that's cruel. We're not going to make you do that.
Whatever. It's really not me. I'm not the person who should be upset. It should be Dan Graham and Ben Watson.
Yeah.
Those were like, one guy was in his second year. The other guy was in his first year. They were both first-round draft picks.
Right.
Who drafts 2 tight ends in 3 years in the first round and doesn't use them?
Puts a linebacker out there. Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. Yeah. And I do want to ask, you get asked about Bill a lot, but you were also there in the early days of Josh McDaniels. He wasn't the OC yet, right? In fact, at one year, he was a defensive guy, right?
He was like a defensive quality control type guy.
Was he like a slappy?
No.
They call him? No? Okay. He's above that? Okay.
Those guys work too hard to be disrespectful to him.
Yeah. I just think that's what like the Belichick people were called in Cleveland. I didn't know if that was still taking over in New England.
Again, I would never do that. It's too hard of a job. It's too tough, for them to do that. So no, he was great then. He's great now, and he's going to be great as long as he's not a head coach. He's fine.
We've kind of hit the limit there, but he's obviously great as an OC. And seeing the Seahawks here, obviously you were here last time, right, with Radio Row.
Yeah.
I just want to see how the Seahawks fan base has changed from the time that you were there.
Well, they had the 12 when I was there, but it was more like an 11.
Okay, all right.
They had the name recognition, but they didn't have the same, power.
Yeah.
They had the willingness, but no punch. Now, it's a straight up home field advantage. And I remember when they were building that stadium, and I remember why are they putting a roof on top of this thing? And because I was like, the Kingdome had a roof, but Mike Holmgren wanted home field advantage. He wanted the noise and he wanted the elements, and he got both. And so when people come up there in January, it's no different than going to Green Bay, it's New England, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, any of those Kansas City, where they've decided that they are going to make their home field an advantage for them.
Yeah.
And listen, it works.
It does. One last really quick question for you, because I know you're a popular guy. You got to go. You're here with Bryant University. I grew up an hour away. It was not the Syracuse of New England, but it looks like it's becoming that. You guys are kicking ass this week with all that you've got in there. Just what does it mean to you to be able to give back and help these kids out?
Well, I know I am giving back, but they are paying me. So it's not like I'm volunteering.
Yeah.
I keep saying not very much.
Yeah, but you're getting Teddy Bruschi over there. You're getting Warren Moon over there.
Like
That's incredible.
And those guys are real nice to take their time, because everybody is. I'm bitching and complaining about how many different directions I'm being pulled, but everybody's got a handler. Everybody's got a schedule. Everybody's selling something. Everybody's trying to get something from. It's crazy. So, wow. Ooh, give me a cracker.
Clear.
But I'm glad that they get this opportunity to do this. They're making a lot of connections with guys like you, everybody in this business, and they're just trying to start some sort of relationship. And I think that's really ultimately the most important thing.
2-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, Seahawk, Patriot.
The
professor, Christian Fauria. Christian, really appreciate your time.
Buddy. Okay.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
A house is a property, but we live in homes. Home sweet home. Homes where the heart is. We aim to deliver the best home buying and selling experience so you can spend less time real estating and more time living.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US. Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com.
Back here on the Wicked Boston Show, 365 Sports, your host Cam Stuart, Zach Burke, behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week. Live on YouTube, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then available wherever you get those podcasts as well. We have been kicked out of Radio Row. You saw the interview with Fauria. We were on Radio Row, man. What a week it was. Exhausting, but all kinds of fun, man, and saw some great Patriots. It was awesome that my first time there is with the Patriots actually in the Super Bowl, man. I mean, we saw Teddy Bruschi, we saw Gronk, saw Malcolm Butler, had a nice little chat with Malcolm Butler. Wish we could have got him on the show. Jermaine Wiggins was there. Ted Johnson, 3-time Super Bowl champ, was there. Fauria was there, obviously. You know, great Boston presence throughout. Lonnie Paxton was there. Saw a friend of the show, Lonnie Paxton. And he actually, we had a great chat, man. It was great to see him. So all kinds of Patriots flavor. Obviously, Fauria right near the top of that. And again, I said it in the first segment, man, that team there with Bryant was just crushing it. And last thing I'll say on it is, like, I mean, I grew up an hour from Bryant. I know a lot of you that watch this show, New England, you know Bryant. You don't sit there and say, like, man, that's a place that just produces broadcasters. I say you don't say that yet. What Fauria is doing there, and Chris and the team that they've got there, it is going to change. It is going to change. So shout out to Fauria. And how about him? He's not picking the Patriots, man. And let's get into someone who is being kind of pissing off Patriots Nation. Someone who's won a couple Super Bowls with the team and is not picking the team or necessarily rooting for the team. Although Fauria did say, like, I'd be happy if Vrabel won. Of all the people to piss off Boston sports fans this week, the week of the Patriots being in the Super Bowl, it was Tom Brady. Of all people who ruffled the feathers of the entire region of New England. You've heard it by now. He goes on and he says, Super Bowl, man, I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't care who wins. Really? Not a dog in the fight. Not a single one. Not the team you played 20 years for. The one you won 6 Super Bowls with. The one that drafted you in the 6th round. The one that put a friggin' statue of you outside the stadium. Not the one who, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, you said, I am a Patriot for life. But now you don't have a dog in this. Honestly, I do think that sucks. And I mean, you're talking with someone, you're hearing from someone who is the ultimate son of Brady. We worship the ground he walks on. Okay, my generation, we got the greatest sports childhood ever because of Tom Brady. And yet this did rub me the wrong way. It did feel weird. And one thing to remember, if you're thinking that we're being just whiny brats, is like Boston, and specifically Boston sports, but Boston as a whole, is as insular as it gets. If you come after Boston, you're coming after the family. Truly. I was at a party with my future in-laws a few months ago, and one of them had a few too many drinks and started shitting on Boston. And it was like The Godfather. You never go against the family, man. I was like, you're taking it too far here. You don't come after Boston. You come at me all you want, but you don't come after Boston. No way. And that's how we are. Like, that's setting the stage. That's just, for better or for worse, that's who we are. And I think a lot of the Patriots players over the years have adopted that. And I was surprised to see some of the responses from some of Tom's teammates with the Patriots. I was kind of happy to see it, but I was surprised. Before we get into that, let me just say this. I understand the quote-unquote conflict of interest here because now, of course, Tom Brady is an owner of the Raiders. And while this isn't official, he can't talk about it. His team is about to hire the offensive coordinator for the other team in the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks. Clint Kubiak is their guy. So while it doesn't mean he's probably rooting for them, I think he probably feels awkward to say, yeah, I'm rooting for the Patriots. But once again, Vince Wilfork put it perfectly. Perfectly. He went on EEI and said, look, that's bullcrap, Tom. This isn't politics. And he's right. You're talking about who wants to win a football game. I can't believe, that is wild, man. That he doesn't want the Patriots to win. That's crazy. That's like, I don't know, man. That's like having a partnership with Michael Jordan and Michigan's playing North Carolina in the national championship. And you say, I don't have a dog in the fight. Brother, you went to Michigan. You played for the Patriots. You never played for Seattle. What do you mean you don't have a dog in the fight? You literally do have a dog in the fight. It's right there. You were there with it for 20 years, man. For 20 years. So I love that Wilfork called him out on that. Like, this isn't politics. You don't have to cross over a party line. It does nothing if you say, yeah, I'm rooting for the Patriots. No one is batting an eye at that. Nobody. And certainly not Clint Kubiak, by the way. No one thinks that's what's going to happen. Asante Samuel took it a step further. And now, consider the source. Asante Samuel is kind of a dink. Okay, he's called out Belichick so many times. And I honestly, I get skeptical of any former player who really hates Bill Belichick, like a guy who played for him. Because, dog, you might not like him as a guy, but he's the greatest coach ever, and he undoubtedly made your career better, whatever player it was that spent any time with the Patriots, let alone won Super Bowls with the Patriots like Asante Samuel did. But he did make a great point in his criticism of Brady, in that there are a lot of former Patriots players who are pulling for the Patriots, not just because they played in New England, but because they played with Mike Vrabel. And all we've heard this whole year about Vrabel and his personality is he was a wise ass, and he always went at it with Tom Brady. It was his best friend on the team. They were really close. And you mean to tell me you're not going to root for your buddy as he's about to do something really special? He's going to coach in the Super Bowl. He could be the first guy ever in NFL history to win a Super Bowl as a player and to coach for the same team, and you're not going to pull for him? To me, that sucks. I got to question the friendship at that point. And what this all comes down to, why we're getting our feelings hurt, is because we're insular and because we want Tom Brady to be Boston. And he's not. And that might sound like a hot take, but I think it's true. That doesn't change that he's one of the great legends in Boston sports history, but so is Larry Bird. Larry Bird is not Boston. Larry Bird doesn't care if the Celtics win. I really don't think that. He's not going to be one of those guys who comes back, at the series clinching game and sits courtside at the Garden. He's never going to do that. And obviously, even if he didn't own the Raiders, I don't think Brady was going to do that for the Patriots. And again, that's not going to, I don't think that's going to tarnish his legacy in this town at all, but it feels a little different. David Ortiz stayed here. Bobby Orr stayed here. Paul Pierce didn't stay here, but damned if he's not saying he's rooting for the Celtics. Kevin Garnett still rooting for the Celtics. Zdeno Chara stayed here. And all these other great Patriots, stuck around. Teddy Bruschi stuck around. He's rooting for the Patriots. David Ortiz goes on the Fox Sports MLB playoff desk and is giddy when the Yankees lose, openly rooting for the Red Sox. Like, you might think that's a little old and tired at this point. I kind of do, but I don't think it's disingenuous. I think he is rooting for the Red Sox. I think he loves Boston. Boston loves Brady. I don't know how much he loves them back. I don't. And he could say that he does. He did after the retirement and the statue and stuff, but maybe that's just as fake as his face at this point. God, I hate saying bad things about Tom Brady. But this it rubbed me the wrong way. Call me whiny, call me a brat. That's just how we are. And I think it struck a chord a little bit in a bad way. That Tom Brady, not to say man, I love the Patriots. God, I hope they win. But to say I don't have a dog in the fight. You don't even recognize your old team. That sucks. They didn't cut Tom Brady like the Colts did with Peyton Manning. They didn't trade him. You might say they lowballed him, but he walked away. And it comes, a week after, by a Brady standards, pretty passionate defense of Bill Belichick. And now he's saying, I don't have a dog in the fight. That sucks, man. And that stings. And again, especially after the 2 weeks of disrespect towards Tom's head coach and Tom's team owner. I think his former teammates are right. And I think a lot of them are pulling for Mike Vrabel. And I think it's crazy that Tom Brady isn't willing to admit it. Because again, there's no reason to not admit it, that you're rooting for them. You don't lose anything by saying that. And he's trying to politic for what reason, I don't know. Clint Kubiak is not going to not take the job because you said you were rooting for the Patriots. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. What is it at the core of this that is really upsetting Boston fans? Let me know in the comments section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to come at you every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well here on 365 Sports. Man, we're going to close the book on this week. I know it wasn't as analytical as it typically is on the show. No 3 keys to the game this week, but I think we went over a lot of that stuff in the first week of buildup. And part of it is that, yes, the Patriots are the underdog. And it feels weird to be in a Super Bowl as a Patriots fan, as an underdog, and just happy to be here. It's odd. It's uncharted territory. And I can't sit here and give you 5 or 6 good reasons why the Patriots should win this game. I can give you 2 or 3 on how they can win it. And then we're going to be grasping at straws after that. Seahawks are probably a better team. But God damn it, the Patriots are here. They're in the game. They're going to roll out the footballs, man. It's an oblong-shaped football. It takes weird bounces. Drake Maye is going to be ready to go. Dr. Chow talked to Pete Souza this week because he thought Pete was Dan Orlovsky. That is a true story, by the way. There were few people around Radio Row who mistook our friend Pete Souza for Dan Orlovsky. It's just kind of funny. He does kind of look like him. I know Zach is laughing right now behind the glass. He is laughing. But man, what a week. Radio Row for the first time. Got to talk to some great Patriots people. Glad that we could bring some of that to you on the show here. Thank you to everyone that helped out with that, by the way. You know, Pete was great. Christian Fauria was great. We had a great camera team. David was helping us big time, saved our butts a few times. Zach saved our butts big time a couple of times this week. The fact that we got shows out on the air every day is a huge testament to Zach, who really helped us out. Chris Visser for getting us down there and getting us on Radio Row. Humongous help. Couldn't have done it without all of those people. So I know that's a lot of behind the scenes people that a lot of you guys don't know. But the fact that we were out there for this special, potentially once in a lifetime opportunity is just a credit to all those people and the great people working behind the scenes here at 365 Sports, Rogue Media, the whole umbrella. So shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to Mike Hamilton, got us some big time graphics this week, helped out when we were running around like chickens with our heads cut off the whole week. So thank you guys so much. And thank you to those of you who have listened and bared with us throughout the week. I can't wait to react to this game, even if it's bad. I can't wait to react to this game. But guys, drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on Monday to see if the Patriots are the all-time winningest Super Bowl team or the all-time losingest Super Bowl team. Hopefully it's number 7, and they'll stand alone, and they'll prove a lot of people wrong. If you got a score prediction, let me know in the comments below. We will see you on Monday on another edition of the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stuart.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.